resolution is accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. 6 is the creation of the OCJS Sheriff Office COVID Area Enhancement Grant Fund and authorizing appropriations. The 7th is the creation of the OCJS Sheriff Office COVID Technology Grant Fund and authorizing appropriations. The 8th is creation of an Adult Probation Mental Health Court Subsidy Grant Fund and authorizing appropriations. The 9th is creation of a Family First Council Family Centered Services and Support Fiscal Year 22 Fund and authorizing appropriations. The 10th is creation of a Juvenile Court Special Docket Medication Assisted Treatment Fiscal Year 22 Grant Fund and authorizing appropriations. The 11th is the creation of a Medina County Energy Special Improvement District Fund and authorizing appropriations. The 12th resolution is allowing expenses of county officials. And the last and final resolution for finance this week is approving claims for the week in the amount of $875,746. Second.
Next up, we have
Our personal changes resolution today, we have a new hire and maintenance, a rehire and maintenance, machinery maintenance, 8 rate increases, 3 in sanitary, 1 in building, 2 at office buildings, and 2 job maintenance services, 1 leave of absence at county health, 1 return period job maintenance services, 2 resignations, 1 in maintenance and 1 job maintenance services, 1 probationary removal and maintenance, and 1 termination and safety. Yes.
next we have Jeremy Cinco for sanitary engineer.
Morning, everyone. 4 resolutions for consideration today. The first is authorizing the sanitary engineer to enter into agreement with Jones & Henry Design Engineers for professional design services. This is for our Marks and Crafton Road, which is part of our water main replacement project. The second is authorizing the sanitary engineer to enter into agreement with GPD Group for professional design services. This is for a fountain and solar borings over at and Marks for a tower project there. The third is declaring the necessity to rehabilitate existing sanitary sewer mains in various locations within Medina County and authorizing the sanitary engineer to commence advertising for construction bids. This is part of our annual sanitary rehab program. Estimated cost for this project is around $275,000. And the last one, authorizing the sanitary engineer to enter into an agreement with Jones & Henry Engineers for professional design services. This is for the design of a
Second.
Yes. Jeremy, any?
Yeah, we have secured the 4 easements. We're just waiting on one other. We're working out that is the supply and has to get us access down. They completed 3 of the 5 solar borings. They just need to reschedule 2 weather. And then just talked to they got as much engineering that they can get done as of right now until they get their solar borings. So we're moving. It's just trying to get this last easement. Oh, and one quick comment, he's 30 That's not, I'm sorry, is it solid waste? Okay. We should have furniture delivered November 8th. After. Yep.
projects. Currently, the boiler project, 1965 boiler is now. New boiler is in. Put all the piping yesterday. Still not exactly. Steve has been working on top of it as well, so that's been great. Some of the past events that have happened since the last time I was in here, the bonfire, Medina Kids Care, Clutters came out, great event. 2 types of s'mores, beautiful weather, couldn't have asked for more. And then just a shout out to the farmers market for the last Saturday. So we got our last donation as well. That was really good partnership that we had. There's some upcoming events. We've got a family bonfire coming up on the 23rd. The ukulele lessons that the residents have access to those. Actually, program, play their ukuleles, have a bonfire, have family members there. Should be a lot of fun. Also, this Thursday we've got the flu shots. Health department coming to us. We were going to do booster shots, but of course it's till January, so we're short of Moderna and Pfizer at the same time. So the flu shot, whatever concoction they have come up with, that's right. We'll see if they hit the mark with that one. Also, 21st, in our absentee voting, so just like last year, they come to us. This year will be inside versus out on the front porches this year. That'll be happening. And of course, out in the we've had one really amazing donation this month with Compassion and Act. The collection that they brought was absolutely amazing. I've got them on the Facebook page. I turned something into Brian for an article for the Commissioner's newsletter with 500 members. Every member donating one thing. It was quite an amazing donation. Subject to that, that's all I have.
Very good. Any questions?
All right. Great, thank you.
There is a levy on in November?
Yes, there is. Sometimes I'm not sure. Yes, there is a levy, yes, and
Well, I will go on the record
Thank you.
officially asking people to support the levy for the county home.
Great.
It's a good service that's provided to our residents, and it's a very worthwhile utilization of taxpayer money.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Next, we have Bethany Dentler, our Medina County Economic Development Director and Port Authority Administrator, and.
Yes, it's a lot some days. So I wanted to give you a quick update on the first 9 months of the year. We've continued to see a lot of economic development activity. Countywide, we're tracking 111 companies, which altogether have made $225 million in new capital investments that they've announced as committed investments. They've absorbed or committed to build just over 453,000 square feet of space. Those investments represent 362 new jobs and 670 retained jobs. So the economy is just roaring along. Most of the companies that we've met with this past year are still reporting tremendous backlogs of customer orders, but they're seeing lingering impacts from the supply chain issues that began late last year. They're also telling us that they could take on even more work if they only had enough employees. Among the companies that we're working with and can name by name, we know of over 1,200 job openings. The latest unemployment rate for Medina County is 4.1% as of August, and initial weekly unemployment claims for the county have averaged just 106 over the past 15 weeks. That's lower than the number of initial claims the week before the shutdown last March, when the economy was really doing well. Regarding those workforce problems, as you know, our office has been working on some creative solutions to those challenges over the past year. The grant that we received from the Summit Medina Workforce Development Board allowed us to put together a social media marketing campaign. It promoted manufacturing and other job openings. From this For this workforce social media campaign, we had over 2 million impressions throughout the region on Facebook. We had 81,000 impressions on TikTok. Yes, we're doing TikTok. And that's a total of 2.2 million impressions. We had over 1,000 visitors hit our worklocal.net website during that campaign. We had an all-county hiring event on Thursday, July 29th. That involved 28 companies who conducted both virtual and in-person job interviews, and we had 43 job seekers. In addition to the social media campaign, our postcard mailing project from the spring has driven more people to our Work Local website this year than we've seen in the past 3 years. And that's a website that features job openings only in Medina County. So we're posting new jobs every day. We're also currently planning 7 events with local school districts. 5 are career days to introduce students to businesses and potential employers, as well as help teach them a little bit about soft skills. And the other 2 are expos that focus on engineering and healthcare. And we expect multiple districts to participate in those expos. I also wanted to give you a few updates on other current initiatives. Our Medina County Energy Improvement District has been expanding in Medina County this past year. We've added the city of Brunswick this summer, and then the village of Spencer is on the horizon. We do have a private sector investor planning to use this PACE funding, or property assessed clean energy. They're doing a construction project in the $2 to $3 million range, and so their funding project should be completed in the next few months. So the Energy Special Improvement District Board will be meeting at the end of next month to flesh out our plan for 2022, and that involves expanding territory throughout Medina County. We hired an attorney who actually put together templates for every jurisdiction in the county, so there's no excuse to hold up that process. House Bill 123 is another bill that we've been tracking. As you know, our Community Reinvestment Area Tax Abatement Program, it would significantly change how that works in the state of Ohio. Because the proposed changes would impact the level of transparency and accountability of one of Medina County's most widely used incentives, we have opposed it. Over the past few weeks, a companion bill to the House bill that was approved, that companion bill was introduced in the Ohio Senate, and the Senate Ways and Means Committee did hear testimony from the House sponsor on September 21st. That bill has not yet come up again for proponent or opponent testimony, but I have notified the committee chair that I am interested in testifying once it is back on the agenda. So we're hoping they have a little bit more sensibility about how that program works. In NOACA, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, or CEDS, Stakeholder Committee began meeting in June for what should have been a year-long planning process. But in early September, NOACA announced that they have compressed the time frame, so they're meeting every 2 to 3 weeks because they hope that they can complete that CEDS document so that the regional partners can use that for grants through the American Rescue Plan Act. So far, we've developed 4 main categories. Topics include people, places, programs, and promotion. And then in addition to the steering committee, we have work groups taking a deep dive into each topic. That will get funneled back to the steering committee. Once that plan is drafted, it will go to the NOACA board in January for approval. And they did receive that, they did announce that they received just over $122,000 in grant funding from the Economic Development Administration to complete that document. We could have done it for cheaper, but whatever. NOACA's Equity Committee has also been meeting this past quarter, and Kathy Breitenbutcher, who is here from our office, she is serving on that committee. One other regional group that I wanted to give you an update about, we're partnering with Magnet, which is our manufacturing advocacy network, and the Greater Akron Chamber. They're applying for, along with a number of other partners, they're applying for $75 million in total grant dollars through the USEDA's Build Back Better funding. That combined grant application would cover 18 counties in Northeast Ohio. They have 8 specific projects proposed for funding. The projects that would impact Medina County the most would be an Akron project involving polymer research and development, as long as workforce development that would train people in sensor-enabled technology. So we are supporting that and obviously hope to get some of that funding back in Northeast Ohio. One quick update in upcoming events. The Medina County Business Awards Program takes place next Tuesday afternoon at the Blair Center in Westfield Center. It will honor 8 companies this year in categories that include business growth, capital investment, outstanding community advocate, and entrepreneur of the year. I believe all of our commissioners are registered, so thank you for planning to join us. It should be a great event. Any questions?
Yeah. So, Medina County Fiber Network had a grand opening event last Friday. It was well attended.
Yes.
And I believe you did your first TikTok video?
Yeah, accidentally. They had a social media booth, and they it's a thumbs up for the fiber network. So didn't actually post it because that would require a TikTok account. But I'm ready to go. But it was a great event. We had a great turnout in Seville for the opening of their demonstration center. We had the commissioners speak and a number of other officials. Just a wonderful celebration and a public acknowledgement of a $50 million investment that is going to truly transform how Medina County residents live their lives, school, work, and I think it will be a tremendous asset to us to market Medina County as a galaxy-class place to live and work.
Right. And also the commissioners are considering as part of our ARPA funds an investment to extend the network into the southwest and western parts of Medina
Underserved
County
areas,
that are not well served. And when you have kids that can't do their homework because they can't get online, that's an issue.
Well, the fact that, we have the commissioners partnering with our private sector investors who are, I believe, going to get the entire county covered with residential fiber at a much more cost-effective rate than some of the other counties that are looking at these programs. It's pretty impressive.
Yes. And Bethany, we have one resolution here to appoint members to the Port Authority Board.
Excellent.
And so I will read it. So the resolution is designated as Commission Resolution Number 4. It's to reappoint members to the Port Authority, and we are reappointing Mark Dorman and Kevin Fondro. So could I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? These two gentlemen have served the Port Authority well. Mr. Dorman's been on there for 2 terms, I believe.
2 terms, yes.
And Mr. Vondro is currently the treasurer for the Port Authority Board. So they are 2 strong contributors.
Absolutely.
Roll call, please.
Hambley?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we have a couple of other commissioner resolutions to approve this morning. And we are going to table Commissioner Resolution designated number 3. And we will consider that one at a later date.
Okay.
So I have 3 resolutions to present. They are designated Commissioner Resolution 1, Commissioner Resolution 2, and Commissioner 5. The first one is a resolution supporting House Bill 43 to enact Section 121.221 of the Ohio Revised Code to authorize public bodies to meet via teleconference and video conference. The second resolution is authorizing the county administrator to review and approve county bills on behalf of the board in the absence of the Medina County Commissioners Board. And the third resolution, again designated number 5, is designated the official representative and alternate for the purpose of voting at the annual meeting of the County Commissioners Association of Ohio for 2022.
Move to approve the 3 resolutions.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any comment?
I'll just say, obviously, the first one, House Bill 43, you've heard us many times talk about the loss of the ability to do teleconference and video conferencing for meeting of public bodies. We had that up until July 1 of this year. The House version of the budget had it in, but the Senate took it out. It has not been granted. It has created problems not only for this board, but for other public bodies to not to be able to at least meet. Public actually have better access at times when we do these conferencing because they can get in and watch than a normal meeting. So for us, it's the greater flexibility to be able to conduct that, still the people be able to see it, but likewise, unfortunately, given what's been going on with obviously the COVID pandemic and other issues, having commissioners available and public bodies to be able to participate and vote is very important. There was one occasion when I had to be down in Columbus, some may recall, during and participating in actually a legislative appointed committee to review force accounts, and I wasn't able to be down there in time if I had tried to attend the commissioners' meeting. Well, I was able to use my iPad and actually participate remote and vote in the commissioners meeting, and then within minutes after finishing that, go and sit in this panel that was basically conducted by the House and the Senate. So it enables us to do our job, and for small boards such as a Board of Commissioners, we only have 3. 1 out is really important to be able to have that flexibility. And losing that has impeded our ability. Actually, that's why the second resolution involves when the Board of County Commissioners can't meet, that the county administrator can pay the bills. Because if we don't meet and pay the bills, somebody has to pay the bills. I mean, our vendors expect to be paid, and it can complicate things if you hold up the cash for a lot of reasons. So we have to pass that second one because the first one's not in place. So,
In addition, we all also by email get the bills in advance for us to review,
Oh, indeed.
even if we're not in the house, so.
and these are already authorized expenses. It's just like anybody else. You've already approved it, just a matter of expending the cash and saying, okay, there you go, and really paying the vendors what's due. So I think that in my mind, it's the lack of the legislature in recognizing that this is an ongoing issue and will continue to be an ongoing issue, even if not for COVID, but the ability to practice, and as we have demands on our time, we can still be able to participate remotely. I think has a great benefit, and people will continue to have access. Given what's happened, I think all the mechanisms are in place. Everybody's become very much more literate with Zoom and YouTube and everything online, especially if we start expanding broadband elsewhere in this county, everybody will even have more access. So I
It's
think
the wave of the future.
it really is, and unfortunately the General Assembly hasn't acted, so we're going to be strongly advocating move forward to reinstate that ability to teleconference and video conference for public bodies.
And the current state of the law is, in order for a public body to meet, you have to meet in person. And in order for your vote to be counted, in order to be considered a quorum, you have to be physically present. In order to vote, you have to be physically present. So during COVID, the legislature changed that to allow public bodies to meet electronically. This is basically an advocacy to the state legislature to reinstate that on a permanent basis. Because the public policy is, you want public bodies to meet, you want them to meet in public so that the public can view and see what's going on. This enables public bodies to meet in particularly in an environment like what we're dealing with today, but even on an ongoing basis, to meet and to have, in our case, commissioners participate remotely and actually vote remotely. So it is something that I think in my opinion, the legislature has been derelict in not doing, and they need to do it. I'll just leave it at that. So any further comments on any of these? Roll call, please.
Hambley?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes. Okay, so we have a need to go into executive session. We're going to go into executive session following our discussion session and public comment. So Steve, could I have a motion?
I'd like to move that we, following discussion, go into executive session to consider the sale, lease, or disposition of real property and to consider compensation of a public employee.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hambley?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
No. Liquor permit.
Oh, we have a notice of a liquor permit filing. So we received notice of a liquor permit request from Corner LLC located at 729 West 130th Street, Hinckley Township, Ohio. This is for a D5 license, and D5 license is spirituous liquor for on-premises consumption only, beer, wine, mixed beverages for on-premises or off-premises in sealed containers until 2:30 a.m. We are not requesting a hearing in regard to this request. So I just need to read that into the record. So we're going to go into our public comment period. I see several smiling faces in front of us. Would one of you like to speak? And all of you have the opportunity to speak. We just request that you limit your comments to 5 minutes and that it be something that pertains to what the commissioners can do. So with that, ma'am, please give us your name and address.
Sure. My name is Marita Rains, and I live in Medina at Foot Road, 4544 Foot Road. Thank you for your time.
Mhm.
We appreciate you. And we pray we can all work together for what is right and just to defend our unalienable rights. We come before you with the power of the Assembly protecting us, as written in the Bill of Rights, to declare our independence under the common law and take back our freedom endowed by our Creator from corporate oppression and declare our sovereignty on the land. We are here as loving and free spirits. And we are here to make a public notice, so this is on public record. County Settlement Covenant, Medina County Preamble. We, the sovereign people living on the land in Medina County, Ohio, a free and independent state, in order to live together in harmony under common law of the Almighty Creator, to facilitate the avoidance of disputes, to facilitate the quick settlement of disputes which might arise, to provide for organized defense of life, liberty, and private property, to protect and administer public property for the benefit of the inhabitants, and to make certain limited agreements with other settlements of sovereign people for mutual benefit, ordain common accord, and recognize the following. Notice, October 19th, 2021, comes now, inhabitants of Medina County, by absolute writ of habeas corpus and with absolute resolve, rebut all corporate authority. And with absolute resolve, rebut all corporate authority. County Settlement Covenant in Medina County, Original Assembly and Library of Records on date, October 19th, 2021.
Gives this county settlement.
Ma'am, would you please give your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Jessica Senior, 123 East Berge Street in Wadsworth. It gives this county settlement announcement. Medina County Settlement Covenant, and in harmony with all 88 counties with what we find, Article 1, by Almighty God granting us freedom, by unanimous decree, the local peoples in local, peaceful, lawful assembly, in settlement covenant in Ohio, a free and independent state, a member of the free and independent states, also known as Republic, for the United States of America, set forth the following affirmations. Section 1, local people and family of man and woman, centered in Almighty God, live on local land and use wayland in people jurisdiction. In grace affirmed by the authority of the unanimous Declaration of Independence circa 1776 and Bill of Rights Articles the 5th, 7th, 9th, 10th, 11th, circa 1789, to 1791, and obviously in 2020 and beyond. Beyond the reach of the predator, others, and other living in friendship and in peace treaties, circa 1789 to 1791 and beyond, beyond the reach of the predator, others, and affirmed by the Article 3 of the Judiciary, Section 7, circa 1803, the Ohio Constitution, and the Covenant of Ohio, a free and independent state, circa 2020.
Hi. Laura Farrell, 9214 Spieth Road, Litchfield. Now, local people, by local common consent, do name, affirm, ordain, establish, and continue local settlement covenant in Medina County and other county settlements and covenant of Ohio, a free and independent state, and nation America settlement, their absolute accumulated legacy prepaid with blood taken from family of man and woman centered in Almighty God who came before and granted local people almighty freedom. I have a copy of this to give you. Should I give it to your bailiff or the clerk?
Is it a single copy?
Yes.
You can give it to the clerk.
Okay. Medina County is now a de jure county on the land, meaning lawful by the people. We are now a lawful settled county on the land. The people have spoken. Thank you for your time.
Anyone else like to address the board this morning? Seeing none, we will go into our discussion session. Bethany, do you have anything for discussion? Greg? Jeremy? You want to introduce Chad?
Well, I'd just like to introduce everyone to Chad Steema. He's our new design engineer. He started at the end of June and have quite a few projects that he's starting to work on today. So thought I'd bring him here just to kind of show him the process of through our our projects and what, get authorization from the commissioners to bid projects and such. And if you'd like to say anything or not, Chad.
Thanks for having me, and I look forward to continuing to work here.
Welcome.
Thanks for being here, Chad.
Yeah.
So you see, occasionally we pick on Jeremy and make him bring people up. So welcome to Medina County. We're happy to have you, and thanks for all your engineering expertise.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bill.
Jeremy.
I appreciate that.
John? Scott? Mike, Holly? Amy? Steve?
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
to
we
talk
have
the
to
ARPA
talk
projects.
Yes, right.
Okay, right.
We got Amy's
Do you want to do
email.
that? Okay. We can do that right now. Folks, you're welcome to stay if you'd like. If you would prefer to leave, you're welcome to that. I don't want to take your time up then.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
You too.
You too.
So, Commissioner, you'd asked last week that I advise you of the time-sensitive projects for ARPA. So the three that were in our assessment time-sensitive were the Granger Lakes Homeowners Association water treatment system, because they're under some EPA directive to get that remedied. Also, the MMHA project, Skip Sipos has been cautiously moving forward with his board. It's my understanding that the city of Medina has allocated $70,000 of their ARPA funds, but it's contingent upon the county's allocation of funds, so wanted to bring that to your attention. And then the last one, we were trying to beat the clock for HVAC improvements to the county engineer's garage. They were going through some pre-winterizing on their existing system, and they were trying to determine whether or not they needed to invest a little more to get them through the winter, or if they might have opportunity to access the ARPA dollars for that improvement project. But that one I would actually ask that we please put on pause. We are reviewing with the prosecutor's office that whole purchasing pool arrangement with Equalis that we've already contracted into for the county home and the jail, just to make sure that we're compliant with the federal procurement guidelines.
Okay. So then we only have the two to consider.
Only the two.
Granger Lakes and the Metropolitan Housing.
And with Granger Lakes too, I'll add that the cost estimate has gone up significantly. They had originally asked for $175,000. It went up by $20,000 to $195,000, and now their current estimate is $300,000.
Is the township contributing any of their ARP funds towards this project?
I am not aware.
I talked with Rich Pace, and he basically are waiting for us, but they are obviously considering it, but they're going to wait and see what we do.
Okay.
And also, it's the compliance issues. In other words, how they have to comply, as you've already pointed out in your memo, given the level of the total project cost and federal procurement guidelines, they are still obligated to, well, the Granger Township is obligated to also fall under to that. And the question comes down to is the requirements for bids, or whether they have to do competitive bid, whether 2 or 3 proposals are adequate. The question I had is that federal procurement requirement for the total cost of the project, or only the part of the money that we actually are able to give them? In other words, I know that there's a certain level of $250, it kind of trips, hey, you have to move to the next level.
And the original ask to us was under 200.
Exactly, under 200, yeah.
And I think that's a correct statement, that if
Yeah.
they stay under the $250,000 in an allocation,
Right.
there still are obligations that they have to find additional comparative pricing.
Okay, right.
And right now, it's my understanding they have one contract or one essentially design-build project that's
Correct.
being approved through the EPA.
Yeah.
Whether or not that would be deemed federally compliant or not, because
Yeah.
they don't have 2 other comparative prices to get at least to 3, is of question. So if the commissioners choose to subgrant monies, I would recommend that we work with the prosecutor's office to come up with some kind of contractual arrangement that conveys that responsibility for federal compliance to whomever we award to, because ultimately, the county's going to be having to demonstrate through an audit compliance, whether we spend the money or it's subgranted and somebody else spends the money, it's got to be spent appropriately.
So we could designate the money and approve it conditionally.
Correct.
Now, would Granger, I mean, Granger has to comply too, under those provisions. Does that provision of that limit or that requirement for competitive bidding for the procurement, is that based upon the two pots of ARPA money? In other words, we keep under the threshold, Granger keeps under the threshold, but when you add them together, they go past the threshold.
I have not researched that
Yeah.
to answer that question
So the prosecutor
specifically.
could help us answer that
Mhm.
question? Okay. Yeah.
Any idea when their EPA approval is coming?
No, so I spoke with EPA probably 2 weeks ago, and they had some additional requirements, but I've not yet seen a permit to install is what essentially gets issued out of EPA's Columbus office, granting them permission to move ahead with the approved plans, and I've not yet seen that.
Right.
So it's pending, I do believe, but I have not seen it.
So, Amy, the cost is now over 300,000?
The cost is just under 300,000.
Yeah.
Okay, 'cause the last number that I had was 266. Is it higher than that?
Well, they had
Yes.
another 25,000, I think, wasn't it, because of some additional requirements by EPA?
Correct, and they also added on the dollars they anticipated in paying federal prevailing wages,
Right,
expecting
yeah.
that there would be some demonstration of compliance to the federal
Okay,
guidelines.
They factored that into the original 266, the.
Yes, it did.
Okay,
Yeah, they did. Yes.
Okay.
Do we remember
I thought they'd
approximate-
added that,
do
but
we
they're at
remember
300.
Approximately what their designation for ARP was? Granger's?
Granger Township?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah, I read it, but I'm trying to remember what it was. Sorry.
I don't
So,
know.
so they're roughly at a cost of just under $6,000 per unit for this, and they're asking us for a little over $3,000 per unit. And that's just kind of how I did the
Oh,
math and
okay.
analysis
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
Are you talking the original ask or the 300,000?
The original ask was 175.
Right.
Well,
So-
actually, they asked for more. I think that but did they not? They
No,
originally
no,
asked for more than
I went back and looked at it.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
is a letter in our packet that asks for the $175,000.
Okay, all right.
And I do
And,
believe it's because the scope has changed as
Yeah.
they've gone
Yeah.
through the
So- so now
iterative.
It's up under
review.
20,000.
Right, yeah.
Ask, so, I guess since they are participating in it, paying part of the cost themselves, I don't know what Granger Township is willing to do, but I guess I would consider some contribution.
Sure.
from
Oh,
us.
absolutely.
Yes.
And even if we did $3,000 per unit, it'd be $162,000.
We could bump that up to 175,
I would-
that's 50.
Well, but
Yeah.
again, I mean, if Granger Township then participates
Okay.
and provides some money.
Sure,
And
yeah.
and we could always come back and reevaluate and give them a little bit more if they need it. But,
Yeah.
I'm
I
good
guess-
with
I guess
162.
my expectation is that Granger will contribute something to get that up toward
I would agree.
175 or
Okay.
195.
Okay. I prefer
and then-
175, but I'm good with,
Okay.
162. All right.
162.
Okay.
All right.
And then in terms of MMHA, are you at a point where you'd like to make a decision on that one?
I'm okay with their.
I am
their
too.
number.
Yep.
Okay, the 500,000
Yes,
for
move forward with
metropolitan
that.
housing. Okay, thank you very
And
much.
that's going to be less of an issue because they already have to comply with federal procurement already.
Right, that one I
Right.
definitely have less concern about the demonstration for,
And then you'll work with, obviously, the prosecutor's office for the Granger, in addition to maybe even Granger Township. I presume they would also provide legal counsel to the township to make sure they're compliant as well for theirs.
I would believe so,
Yeah,
yes.
Okay, all right, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Okay.
Bill, just a question about that. Metropolitan housing, is it on Lafayette Road or is it on East Smith Road? Which are the two projects?
This is the Lafayette Road project. Yes, it's the Lafayette Road. It's the one where we donated property.
It's the one right next to the
Jail.
juvenile detention center and
Yeah,
the jail.
The permanent supportive housing, right.
Because I
Yep.
saw they presented another one to the city on East Smith Road last year.
Yeah, it's a separate one, yes.
Yeah.
But that's not, they didn't come to us for money on that. Yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion, Steve?
Nope. I know we got a
Colleen?
schedule
Yes.
to keep.
Okay, we are going to go into executive session. Thank you for attending. We will come out of executive session. We have budget hearings starting at 10:30, so we will announce our ending of the executive session and retire from regular session on the record. It is 10:39, and we are out of executive session, back into general session. And Steve, can I have a
Move to
motion?
adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hambley?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes. Thank you, and have a great week. We are going to move into budget hearings at this time. My book. I'll be right back.
Get Scott's.